enjoying RSA so far?
I like to think of it as the Super Bowl of security. It's a crazy week, meeting tons of customers and prospects and other vendors and partners, but it's fun. It's great to see everybody in person.
It is for sure. Tell us about Code42 and what you're showing off at RSA this year.
So Code42 is 100% focused on insider risk, and so we help companies deal with both insider threats, where it's malicious people moving data outside the company, but also with accidental changes that people make. This year, we're highlighting the sort of wide range of responses that you can have to insider risk. It's not just about blocking data from going outside the company, it's also educating our end users when they make a mistake. Somebody puts something in Dropbox, we don't necessarily have to hit them with the 2x4, we can say, hey, we don't use Dropbox. And Code42's developed a bunch of product to do that in an easy, automated fashion for our customers.
Tell us about the name Code42. What's the relevance of that?
Everybody always asks about the name Code42. Well, our founder was really into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and of course, the answer to everything is 42. So it still kind of fits because the answer to everything around insiders is Code42, so 42 still works.
What are some of your observations on insider threats and vulnerabilities? What are some trends and things that you've noticed in the marketplace?
Well, it's growing like crazy. So there's really three things that drive it, and they're all going up and to the right. So the first is people working remotely. Everybody has people working remotely now. So they're off the network, they're working from home, they're working from Starbucks, wherever they want to work from. And when they do that, they have really bad habits. And also they're not sort of under the corporate thumb, and so they move a lot of data around. So that's one, that's a big driver. The second thing is people changing jobs. They're doing it faster than ever, they have less loyalty to their companies, they're kind of thinking about their own portfolio of information to take with them, and so that's also increasing. And then the last thing is the initiation of things like Slack and Teams and OneDrive and Dropbox and Box, and all these kinds of applications have personal versions. And so it's really easy to sort of say, I want to move this data to my Dropbox account or to my Gmail account, and it's really easy to do. So all those things are happening at the same time, and so the problem of insider threat and data loss from insider threat is really growing dramatically.
What kind of feedback are you getting from CISOs at the show here?
Well, CISOs don't love to actually solve the problem of insider risk. It's not their favorite problem to deal with, and so they're like, they'd much rather deal with a hacker or some ransomware, because when they find that, they can just smack it. With an insider, we're talking about our colleagues, could be our friends, could be our boss, and so it's a little, you gotta work with HR, you gotta work with legal, it's a lot more nuanced. And so what we have tried to do at Code42 is build solutions that are really easy to deploy, easy to manage. They only surface the risk that you really need to pay attention to. Because again, it's not the most passionate problem of a CISO, but it is something they know they need to solve.
That's great information. Anything else that you want to add? Any observations about RSA or anything about the show this year?
Well, the show is crazy again. It's back to what it was in 2019. I was here last year, it was about half this size. It's definitely gotten a lot bigger. I'm glad to see everybody back. I think one of the things that's hardest at RSA is to differentiate what people are doing. Like, it all sounds the same, it all looks the same. And I think one thing that we tell CISOs is like, hey, this problem, the insider problem, is very different than every other problem we solve in security. So make sure you go find someone that really specializes in this and understands the problem. Obviously, we're one of those vendors, but there's a few other ones out there, and we encourage people to really learn about insider risk, because again, it requires a very different approach.
Joe, thanks so much for your time. Anything else you want to add today?
Heather, thank you for visiting our Code42 booth. We'll be here all week. Come by and see our software.